YouTube. My name is Dustin Benedict, and today I want to talk about cameras. The camera that I want to talk about today is the Canon EOS RP. This camera right here. And just to let you know, this entire video is being shot on the iPhone 11 Pro. It's the first video I've done with it, so I'm excited to see how it turns out. I just wanted to take a quick minute, not take up much of your time, and talk about whether or not I think you should buy this camera. And also who I think the camera's for. So who should buy it and who it's for. So first of all, the price for this camera right now, for Black Friday, Canon is doing a pre-Black Friday sale, so is Best Buy. All the other places have this camera on sale and have had this camera on sale for a little while now for $9.99. And most of the places you'll find that comes with the RF to F adapter already with it. So for less than $1,000, you get a full frame camera and you get the adapter that allows you to adapt all of Canon's EF glass to this camera. So price is phenomenal. I've never seen, in all the years that I've been doing photography, I've never seen a full frame camera for less than $1,000, unless you're buying an older camera, an older DSLR that's been out for 5, 6, 7 years and you're buying it used. So the price, you can't beat it. There's no way. When this camera came out, everybody hated on this camera. There was not very many people out there that had positive things to say about this camera, especially if you are doing any type of video work. So Canon, I'm hoping, has actually listened to their consumers, because they put out an update recently that puts 24 frames per second back into this camera, the 90D and the M6 Mark II. With that being said, I hope that Canon will realize that they have to take care of their consumers, and they can't keep cannibalizing or taking things out of this to keep from cannibalizing other cameras, like their cinema cameras, their C200s, 300s, 400s, 500s, whatever, all their cinema cameras. So now this camera does killer video work. If you're interested in 24 frames per second, it has it now. If you like 30 frames per second, it has it. It does 60 frames per second, and this is all in full HD. 4K, I'm not a 4K shooter, but 4K on this camera is not great. You lose dual pixel autofocus and it goes to a contrast autofocus, and also it crops in, so you kind of lose having a full frame sensor and the benefit of having a full frame sensor when you start shooting 4K video. So yeah, but I don't shoot 4K. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that, oh gosh, people love 4K. I don't even have a 4K TV, so I'm kind of behind the times on that. So for stills, you've got a 26.2 megapixel full frame sensor. You've got an articulating touchscreen. You have plenty of different modes. You know, you have all your mode dial that has everything, aperture priority, everything on there. So for stills, this camera has been phenomenal so far. Attached to it, I have the 85mm f1.8. This is an older Canon lens, but I love this lens. And because the RF to EF adapter came with it, I can put my older glass on this camera. So that's phenomenal. I would love to get some RF lenses for this, but my gosh, they are really expensive. I think the cheapest RF lens they have out right now is $500. I think that's the 35-1.8. For Black Friday, it's like $450 or something like that. So I'll get there eventually. I'll get some RF lenses, and when I do, I'll make reviews about those lenses as well. But guys, for the price, and now that they have fixed 24 frames per second in this camera, I really don't think that you can get into a better entry-level DSLR at this price. Now, I know there are a lot of APS-C sensor cameras out there that compete directly with this camera, the Sony a6400, the a6600, but this is cheaper than the 6600. Now, the 6600 does have in-body image stabilization. This camera does not, but it does have digital image stabilization, which seems to work well. but once again, you hit another crop. So it's just kind of, you have to really do your research and figure out which camera is best for you when it comes to whether you'd rather have an APS-C censored camera or a full frame camera. Me, I really wanted to get into full frame. I've worked with APS-C for years and I was ready to get into the full frame game. So I went with this, the Canon EOS RP. I've had it for a couple of weeks and it hasn't let me down yet. So far everything has been great, but I will let you know, kind of do a 1 month review and then maybe a 6 month review as I go along, the things that I like and dislike about this camera. So, but today I just wanted to do kind of my thoughts about the camera. Should you purchase it? Who is it for? So to answer those two questions, now that I've talked for 6 minutes, this camera is for somebody who really wants to get into full frame mirrorless at a cheap price. So $1,000, you're not gonna find anything cheaper. It's going to work great for travel, vlogging, stills, video, all of those things now that the firmware has been fixed and they've put 24 frames per second back in this camera. It's like a little EOS R. So, so should you buy this camera? I think you should. If that's what you're looking for and you've done your research and you feel like this camera fits your needs, then by all means, buy this camera. I bought it. So far, I love it. But we'll see how I feel about it in a month and then in 6 months. So thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. I plan on doing more videos where we just talk about camera stuff because I love cameras. I love everything about them. So yeah, if you liked it, hit that like button. If you would like to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.